as we continue our journey through the month that is celebrated as Black History, today we will focus on another stalwart of our church in the person of Sister Myrna Webbe. Sister Myrna Webbe was born on 7th October 1942 at the Alexandra Hospital to Sophia Robinson and Egbert Webb. So she is currently 80 years of age. She has resided at Government Road, Charlestown, just a short distance from her place of birth, all of her life, and has never lived abroad for any length of time. She has 6 brothers, and on her mom's side, Janet Robinson, deceased, Howard Webb, Joan Maduro, Vera Forbes, Curiel Robinson, and Myra Paris. On her father's side, Everett Weber Herbert, whom I'm sure all of us know, Jennifer Hodge, Myron Herbert, and Rose. She received her formal education at the Charlestown Girls' School and later on at the Charlestown Secondary School. After leaving secondary school, Sister Webb joined the nursing profession on 1st October 1961 at the tender age of 19. Back then, student nurses had to work while in training, and so she worked at the Alexandra Hospital under the supervision of Matron Pigott, who was in charge at the Alexandra Hospital at the time. Nurses in training also received their training from visiting nurses from Barbados and other islands who came to St. Kitts to conduct training. Sister Webb, along with other nurses from Nevis, would travel to St. Kitts to receive their training. She also received training from various nurses in Nevis, including Nurse Victoria Walwyn, who currently lives next door to her and who was a senior nurse at the Alexandra Hospital at the time. Over the years, she also traveled to Barbados and various other islands in the Caribbean for training. It is said she was a nurse who tried her best to make her patients feel relaxed, particularly when administering injections. I'm certain many of us can recall that in those days, there were not too many needles available for injection on the island, and a few very big needles would be used to vaccinate almost the entire population of Nevis. The needles would be sterilized after each use, of course. On January 1st, 1970, Sister Webb was appointed as staff nurse at the Alexandra Hospital, and 2 years later, on October 17th, 1972, she was transferred over to our sister island, St. Kitts, for work. It is not clear when she was transferred back to Nevis. However, on March 28, 1983, just 6 months prior to our independence, she was appointed as assistant matron at the Alexandra Hospital, and she served in that capacity from that date until her retirement in 1997. She served the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis for 36 years, and during that time, she received several awards and commendations for her service. Following her retirement at the age of 55, she felt compelled to continue her service to the island of Nevis and went on to head up the Avalon Medical Laboratory, which was then located on Government Road, and she worked there for several years. Sister Webb was a sports enthusiast, as you can see from the pictures, in her day, and was a very active track and field athlete. She was also very active in the Nurses Tennis Association. Back then, the tennis courts were located where the outpatient car park is currently located at the Alexandra Hospital. She also enjoyed playing tennis at the Penny's Beach Club. She was an avid netballer and helped to start the nurses team, Glee United. I'm sure you would have seen the picture of her in her nurse's uniform, in her netball uniform. In addition to her nursing and athletic attributes, she loved playing the piano, knitting, and crocheting. Her nephew Floyd can attest to her great baking skills, as he enjoyed many delicacies that his aunt would have prepared while living with her over the years. It is not clear when Sister Webbe first joined the Charlestown Wesleyan Holiness Church, but her nephew Floyd confirms that prior to coming to Charlestown Wesleyan, she regularly attended the Charlestown Methodist Church. It is said that she used to accompany her aunt, Sister Baby, I'm not sure if some of you might remember her, who was a member of Charlestown Wesleyan, on various occasions, and after several years of attending with her aunt, she was baptized and joined the church as a full-time member. As many of you know, she is a very quiet, unassuming lady, and during her initial years as a member, she did not hold any upfront roles in the church. However, after several years of being in the church, she became more pronounced as a Christian, would testify of God's goodness, and began to participate in church activities. Although she never held any leadership positions, she served for many years keeping the church and its surroundings clean. She had a passion for gardening and loved flowers and making floral arrangements. She loved planting flowers around the church and used to bring fresh flowers to decorate the communal table. As many of you are aware, she committed herself for many years to organizing the communion sacraments for communion services. She loved singing and sang with the women's group, the carol group, the choir, and on a few occasions, she would render a special solo during Sunday morning service. She was very passionate about church and would always attend when she was able to do so. As mentioned before, Sister Webbe is a quiet, speak when you are spoken to person who loved to work behind any function held by the church, especially at harvest time. She would voluntarily bring in her plants from her garden and would assist the late Dolpha Hobson of blessed memory to decorate the church. Notwithstanding her quiet personality, she is a very jovial person and always has a bright smile on her face, even when faced with challenges. Her nephew Floyd admits, though, that although she had a funny personality, she could also be a strict disciplinarian when it was necessary. Some of her favorite songs include Blessed Assurance, Jesus is Mine, Come Into My Heart, Holy, 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 and Little is Much When God is in It. One of her favorite quotes is, Never trouble trouble until trouble troubles you. The pastor, members, and followers of the Charlestown Wesleyan Holiness Church say a big thank you to Sister Myrna Webbe for her years of dedicated service to the church and for her sterling community service in the area of nursing on the island of Nevis and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis by extension. Sister Myrna Webbe, we salute you. May the Lord continue to bless and keep you for many, many more years. Her nephew was trying really, really hard to get her to come out to church this morning. So on behalf of all of us here at Charlestown Wesleyan, we want to say thank you to Sister Webbe for all of her years of dedicated service to the church and to the island of Nevis. And he also wants to say thank you to the church for all that we have done for her over the years. Thank you very much.